when we signed all those guys back in the Attitude Era, and we were trying to compete with WCW Nitro on Monday nights and so forth, was that we had a very competitive group. Everybody wanted to be the top dog. Everybody took pride in being the guy. I booked Austin one time in a tag match to give him a break on a Saturday night before TV on, I think they had, Sunday night, excuse me. A Sunday night show in the West Coast. And I put him in a tag match at Vince's suggestion. And I put him on right before intermission. So he goes out to gets to the town, and Black Jack Lanza is the road agent. Mm-hmm. So Lanza calls me on the phone, what's very common, go over what we're going to do that night creatively on the live events. He said, I got Austin here for you. I handed Austin the phone. And then, I commenced, after he got through over-modulating to my phone and cussing, I figured out that, A, he didn't like tag matches, and B, he couldn't figure out why he wasn't going to last. And I said, well, the deal is, I thought the tag match would give you a little bit of a break, not have to carry the whole load, and going on at the intermission, before the intermission, would get you out on the road earlier, so you got a big night at Raw the next night. And it's an early night because we're on West Coast time.
Right.
And, man, he gave me – I worked all my GD life for this, to be a top guy, and I'm the top guy, and I want to go on last. That's what top guys do. So that was him. So that was the way that some talents were in that world. But if they were right, we compromised. And so, by the way, I unbooked the tag, and I put him on last.
I think a key part of what you just said is Austin has this chip on his shoulder because he's finally the top guy, and it's taken him X number of years to get there. And he's wrestled in this territory, and he's wrestled in WCW, and he's gotten bosses that have said, nah, you're a good hand, you're a good hand, you're a good hand. Do you think that guys coming up who have just kind of, maybe they've done a little bit of indie stuff here, but most of their learning has been in the developmental system, has been in NXT, the Performance Center, then NXT, then the main roster, and they've gone through this thing that seems to be pretty regimented. Do you think that it stops them from developing the chip on their shoulder?
I hope that it doesn't. I can see the point being made. I'm assuming that for some talents that are not self-starters and maybe don't have the confidence in their game yet, or they take your philosophy you mentioned earlier, you alluded to earlier about, I'll just stay over here and be quiet. Nobody's going to notice me, and I'll extend my shelf life. And I can tell you that nobody likes that. Within the creative portions of the company, if you sit silently and you don't contribute to your character, you don't have an idea, we don't see growth in all areas as a professional, that you lessen your own chances by being quiet and not squeaking. So
right.
You get greased, so to speak. So, but Austin he spoke out, and he made us pay attention. And he was really good. And he knew and felt his character better than any of us could ever feel it. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of guy that just, he had success, and so his creativity and his creative input was vital and asked for and appreciated. He made more money for the company maybe selling T-shirts than anybody we'd ever had there, and he designed probably 90% of them.
So that's the key, is also knowing your worth, right?
Yes, exactly. And having a few wins.
Yeah.
Get yourself a few wins before you start trying to be more involved.
Right. Prove what you can do.
And somebody says, what's the chicken and the egg? You're screwed one way or the other. No, you're not.
Right.
Even if you go in the ring and you're going to put the other guy over, and I said, if you're going to go and you're going to have a backdrop in your match, probably. Mm-hmm. Can you take a good backdrop? Damn right. I said, then take the biggest, highest backdrop that you can possibly take, and sell it like you're going to the electric chair.